EIU head coach Chris Wilkerson. The team is coming off a loss against nationally ranked SEMO at home this past weekend. They're going to take on Tennessee State this weekend in Nashville. So, Coach, just some thoughts on your team, and then we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. First of all, tip of the hat to Coach Tuke and SEMO. They were as good as advertised. They came out and they started really fast, and our slow start has continued to be a frustration. For a couple of the weeks this year, and then our inability to finish games. So I'm proud of the guys' effort. We certainly battled back after being down 24-0 to get it to within 10, and certainly finished 11 behind. But we're still searching for our best 4 quarters of football for this football team, and haven't even come close to doing that yet.
Thanks, Coach. I know Barry's with us. He has questions. Go ahead, Barry.
Good morning, Coach. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thanks, Barry.
I wanted to follow up on you mentioning the slow starts, and I know you've had just 2 first quarter leads this year so far. Is that, kind of complementary football, or would you say you need to get your run game going a little bit, or what will help in those efforts?
No, we just got to continue to move the football and possess the football in the first quarter. To start this last week, we had 4 3-and-outs and a turnover on downs in our first 5 possessions. It took us until play 17 until we got our first offensive first down. But once we did get that first down, we were able to start moving the football. They did some things that we didn't quite expect maybe at the beginning of the football game, but it just took us a little too long to make some adjustments. And we've got to be quicker to do that. We've got to come out of the gates and play a little better right out of the chute. But we did that 2 weeks before against Lindenwood and came out really strong and then didn't finish the game. So just our inability to put together 4 straight quarters is frustrating, and that's what we're searching for.
Would you say that the SEMO game was your best finish so far?
I would say it was our best finish, but certainly not anywhere near our best first half of football. Again, they're very talented. They're very well coached. They know exactly what they're doing. Quarterback gets the ball out of his hands exactly as we had expected. The receivers are very talented. Offensive line will block you, and then on defense, they're certainly not afraid to play man-to-man and squeeze some of the air out of it. And so you've got to make plays against that stuff. You got to be able to protect the passer. And those were some things that we started to do in the second half, but just not early enough in the football game.
You had some injuries on Saturday, and I wanted to ask about the status of Anthony Manavez, Eli Mirza, and Drake Van Hefty, who all came out on Saturday.
Yeah, we had a number of guys that were taken out of the football game on Saturday. It's still to be determined. We're waiting on them to see physicians again and/or some scanning and imaging. But their day-to-day right now would be my answer.
Okay. A bright spot defensively for you has been Nicholas Oliveira Chase, who has surpassed his sack total from last year. Can you tell me a little bit about what Nicholas is doing well and how that's helped your defense so far?
Yeah, OC's been a great addition to our program. Come to us from the East Coast, smaller college, a blue-collar guy, and has really developed very well in our program. He's gotten bigger and stronger. He's about 275 pounds, has really improved his pass rush. And I think that's a credit to his work ethic and his attention to detail, and also his ability to work with our defensive line coach, Carleif Taylor. He's also one of the few guys up front that has been available the entire season. Not that he hasn't been banged up, but he's also been able to push through some minor injuries and maintain his ability to be available for us. And so I'm really proud of OC. I've loved watching him continue to develop. He's a joy to be around. He's a great mentor and a leader. And I look forward to watching him finish this season strong as possible.
Coach Taylor has some NFL experience. Has he helped with Nicholas's kind of variety of moves?
I think so. Again, Carleif, Coach Taylor does a really good job with our pass rush stuff. OC was a really good player against the run even last year, but this has really helped him continue to develop how to set things up and how to develop a series of pass rush moves off of his initial pass rush. So it's been a really good relationship for those two guys.
Overall, defensively, can you assess how you guys have played, and what improvements would you like to see as we head into the home stretch here, the second half of the season?
Yeah, we've been hurt by our lack of depth right now with the number of players that have been hurt or injured, specifically in the front 7. And so what happens is we wear down, especially you mentioned complementary football earlier, especially if we don't get off to a good start offensively. Our defense did okay out of the beginning of right out of the chute. We did force a punt. We held them to a field goal. But again, our inability to sustain anything offensively and allow those guys to catch their breaths and get back on the field really puts them in a tough spot. So we've got to continue to improve our pass efficiency defense. Quarterbacks are completing a very high percentage against us right now. We've certainly played some very good quarterbacks and some very good offenses, and we will again this week. Draylen's been around for, it seems like, a long time and is a very, very, very efficient football player, can make every throw in the book and can certainly hurt you with his legs. He's got great weapons on the perimeter. Their running back Gant is as good as anybody in the league. Their offensive line is big and physical. So it'll be another tremendous test for our defense. But hey, we're going to put our best foot forward and try to correct some things that we need to, and hey, be ready to go on Saturday evening.
Coach, the last thing I had for you is on Saturday, Dartmouth renamed its stadium after Buddy Tevens, who was a friend and a mentor to you. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about your reaction to Dartmouth honoring Coach Tevens in that way.
Oh, I thought it was an unbelievable honor to rename it to Buddy Tevens Football Stadium at Memorial Field. Coach Tevens was an amazing football coach. He was an amazing mentor. He was extremely progressive in the football world, led to the beginning of the elimination of tackling in the Ivy League for practices, and moving the kickoff line up in the Ivy League to try to reduce some of the collisions in kickoff. We developed, while we were there, the MVP, the mobile virtual player, tackling dummies, if you will, that were almost on wheels or go-karts. He hired the first full-time female Division I assistant football coaches who have gone on to coach in the National Football League now. He was just an amazing, amazing coach, very progressive, awesome ambassador for the game and for Dartmouth College. But on top of all that, he was even a better human being. He was a tremendous mentor of mine. I learned an awful lot by being around him and Kirsten, his wife, and their family. I was grateful for every day that I spent with him at Dartmouth College. And, I know he's looking down and probably smiling. But at the same time, I know he's probably very humbled by that honor, and it was well-deserved. Again, he was probably one of the single greatest ambassadors of Dartmouth College in the history of that esteemed college. So a tremendous honor for he and his family, and very well-deserved.
Great. Coach, thank you. Always appreciate your time.
Yeah, no, appreciate it.
Coach, you mentioned some of the TSU offense. I want to ask about their defense. They have 16 sacks this year, and it seems like, just looking at their personnel, they don't have the one person that is just dominant. They have 5 or 6. So just thoughts on them.
Oh, yeah. Hey, they are extremely talented on defense. Again, their front four is twitchy, big, physical. Eddie's boy does a great job now. They've moved him outside. The other defensive end does a phenomenal job. They're massive in the middle, and so they push the pocket, and they kind of force it to those edges. But they roll guys through. They're very active. And a big part of the reason that their sack total is so high is because they do such a really good job in the secondary. They squeeze the air out of it. They make the quarterback have to hold on to the football, and that allows the pass rush to get home. So linebackers are great tacklers. Secondary guys are super athletic, not afraid to play man-to-man. We're expecting certainly a ton of man-to-man and to be challenged on the perimeter. So, we're going to, again, have our hands full. They are very well coached. Coach Fisher does a phenomenal job with that group. And the last time we went to Nissan, we kind of got our lunch handed to us. And so, we better be ready, and certainly can't afford to start slow like we did last week. We just got to continue to look for ways to improve and play 4 quarters of football.
Coach, appreciate your time this morning. Best of luck this weekend. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Thanks a million. Go Panthers.